People love to tell you to follow your passion. It's framed as the ultimate life advice, the key to purpose, success, and fulfillment. And while passion can give you energy, meaning, and direction, it can also quietly become the very thing that burns you out. Because passion isn't just fire, it's fuel. And like any fire, if it isn't managed carefully, it can consume you. The tricky thing about passion is that it doesn't feel dangerous at first. In fact, it feels like the opposite. Passion makes you excited to wake up in the morning. It drives you to put in extra hours, to go further than most people would, to sacrifice things that don't matter because you believe in something that does. Psychologists call this harmonious passion, when what you love fits into your life in a balanced, sustainable way. But passion has another side, obsessive passion, and that's where things get dangerous. That's when the thing you love begins to control when your self-worth and identity become tied so tightly to it that you can't separate yourself from it. This is why passion can burn you out, because passion doesn't just ask for your time. It asks for your energy, your identity, and your sense of self. If you're not careful, it can turn into obsession, and suddenly what once gave you joy starts draining you dry. You start measuring yourself only by your productivity, your achievements, or how close you are to some ideal version of success. And when you inevitably fall short, you feel worthless. Think about it. Passion convinces you that rest is wasted time, that slowing down is falling behind. It whispers that if you're not always working on your craft, your dream, your calling, then you don't deserve it. And so you push harder. You ignore the signals your body gives you. You trade sleep for progress, relationships for deadlines, inner peace for external validation. And slowly, what used to feel like love begins to feel like pressure. The psychology behind this is fascinating, but also sobering. Passion activates the brain's reward system, flooding you with dopamine whenever you make progress. But like any source of dopamine, it can become addictive. The brain begins to crave not just the activity itself, but the validation and progress it brings. When progress slows, or when you're not performing at your best, you feel withdrawal. You feel empty. That emptiness is one of the first signs that your passion is crossing the line into burnout. And burnout doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in. It starts as exhaustion, physical, mental, emotional. It shifts into cynicism. You begin to resent the very thing you once loved. And finally, it hits you with inefficacy. You feel like no matter how much you pour in, it's never enough. Passion unchecked leads you here because passion alone isn't sustainable. Fire doesn't last forever without balance, without oxygen, without care. But here's the part that matters. Passion itself isn't the enemy. What burns us out isn't loving something, it's the way we relate to it. When your passion becomes your identity, when it becomes the only lens you see yourself through, you set yourself up for collapse. Because what happens if you fail? What happens if circumstances take it away? What happens if your passion changes, as it often does? If your entire self-worth is built on passion alone, you'll crumble when it shakes. So how do you protect yourself? By remembering that passion should enhance your life, not consume it. By learning to let passion be something you do, not something you are. By keeping space for rest, for relationships, for play, for silence, because those things don't take away from your passion, they sustain it. Think of passion like running. If you sprint with everything you've got and never pace yourself, you'll collapse halfway down the track. But if you learn rhythm, if you respect your limits, if you know when to push and when to breathe, you can keep running for miles. Passion is the same. It needs rhythm. It also needs permission to change. One of the reasons passion burns people out is because they feel guilty when their passion evolves. They think, if I stop loving this thing, it means I've failed. It means I'm a quitter. But that's not true. You're not supposed to cling to one passion forever. You're supposed to grow. And sometimes growth means redirecting your fire. If you've ever felt like your passion is draining you more than it's fueling you, maybe it's not a sign you're weak or uncommitted. Maybe it's a sign you need balance. Because passion without balance isn't purpose. It's pressure, and passion without rest isn't love, it's obsession. The goal isn't to lose your passion. The goal is to protect it, to nurture it like a flame, feeding it just enough so it lights your way without burning you alive, To remind yourself that you're more than your work, your art, your dream, that your worth isn't tied to how productive or successful your passion makes you. At the end of the day, passion should give life, not take it away. And if it's draining you, then maybe the bravest thing you can do isn't to push harder, but to step back, to breathe, to rest. Because rest doesn't mean you've lost your passion. It means you've given it the chance to last.